All right, so today we are diving into Sunny, this new sci-fi show, kind of a dramedy over on Apple TV Plus.
Mm-hmm.
And we are really trying to figure out like what it's saying about our relationship with technology, maybe what it makes us think about the future.
Yeah.
And to help us break all of this down today,
Yes.
I have with me, well, you've heard them before on the show. I have our resident tech expert.
Hello, hello.
Welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So we got a lot to dig into. Like I said, this show's Sunny. We have articles about it like everywhere.
Everywhere.
I mean, everybody is talking about it. So we have stuff from The Verge, The Independent, even the Irish Times.
Of course.
Enemy.
Obviously.
And then, because, we like to go a little bit behind the scenes.
Yeah.
We have a really interesting YouTube video we're going to pull from where some of the stars of the show kind of talk about, like, their experiences making it.
A little behind the curtain.
Exactly.
I love it. Let's get into it.
What is it about Sunny, would you say, that makes it stand out from, like, all the other sci-fi out there?
There's a lot of kind of like dystopian takes on tech these days.
Right, yeah.
It's all like doom and gloom.
Yeah, like Black Mirror. Everybody's, like, obsessed with how tech is going to destroy us.
Exactly. And this show kind of like takes a hard left turn from all that.
Okay.
It's like, what if the future of tech is that nice?
Okay, so, like, refreshing, almost.
Yeah. Like a digital detox, but with really, really good wifey.
Okay, I like where you're going with this.
Right. Like, less doom scrolling, more Zen.
Mm.
And the art of robot maintenance.
I mean, I'm seeing headlines about, like, vintage-inspired phones and robots that are, like, legitimately cute.
Yes. Okay, so the phones. Imagine this. You pull out your phone, and instead of this, like, overwhelming...
Brick of anxiety.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like this sleek, almost minimalist.
Okay.
Almost like, those old-school Japanese lighters.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful design. Satisfying click when you open it.
Yeah.
It's like that, but instead of a flame, it's all about seamless voice communication.
Okay. I can dig it, actually.
Right. No more endless scrolling. No more notifications blowing up your life. Just like pure intentional connection.
See, I think I could get behind that.
Right.
But, okay, I have one question. What happens when you, like, actually need a screen?
Okay, so that's where things get really interesting.
Okay, hit me.
They have these built-in projectors, right? So if you absolutely have to have visuals, they've got you covered.
Okay.
But get this, and this is key, any screen, phone, laptop, whatever, it all uses this, like, electronic paper technology.
Okay, so instead of it being this, like, bright, glowing rectangle, it's more subtle.
Exactly. It blends into the environment. It's like calming,
I like that, a calming screen.
Right. And it's intentional. The creators wanted to move away from that whole, like, in-your-face tech aesthetic.
So no, like, Blade Runner vibes then?
No neon dystopia here. It's more like Kyoto chic meets the future.
Okay, I am so intrigued. So it's not just the gadgets themselves, it's like the whole vibe of the tech.
100%. And it's never explicitly stated, but it definitely has this, like, timeless quality to it.
Okay, interesting.
Like, you can't quite place what year it's supposed to be.
Oh, I like that. A little ambiguity.
Yeah, it's like they mashed up vintage and futuristic, and
Yeah.
somehow it works.
It's like the tech world's version of that perfect vintage tea you can never find.
Exactly.
But we can't forget about, like, the real star of this show, right?
Oh, you mean Sunny, the robot?
Yes! Tell me more about this adorable robot sidekick I keep hearing about.
Okay, picture this, right? Wall-E. But instead of being made of, like, scrap metal and sadness,
Right.
it's like if you took a Roomba and gave it a fluffy puppy makeover.
Oh my god, I already love Sunny.
Right. The design is incredible, very intentional on the creator's part.
Yeah.
They wanted something approachable, something that would immediately disarm people.
Okay, but this show is not all, like, robot hugs and heartwarming montages, is it? There's some mystery here, too, right?
Oh, absolutely. This is where it gets juicy. So we have Susie. She's an American who's been living in Kyoto for like a decade.
Okay.
Her husband, Masa, vanishes. Poof. Gone.
Okay, that's not good.
No, not good at all. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Masa, he's a roboticist.
Okay, so we're not talking, like, lost cat posters here.
No, this is next level stuff.
Okay,
Like,
okay.
He works for this company, Imatech. They design these like super advanced robots like Sunny.
Right.
But get this, Susie. She thinks he designs refrigerators.
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 Okay, come on. That's, like, even I know the difference between a circuit board and a crisper drawer.
Right. You'd think after 10 years of marriage, she'd be like, honey, why are you coming home smelling like solder?
Exactly.
But no, refrigerators. which right away tells you something is up.
Yeah, that's not suspicious at all.
And from there, it just spirals.
Yeah.
We're talking corporate conspiracies, underground robot fighting rings,
Wait, what?
robot fight clubs. And just when you think it can't get any wilder,
Yeah.
the Yakuza gets involved.
Okay, now it's a party.
It's a whole thing.
So it's a mystery, but with, like, a side of adorable robots. I'm not mad at it.
And that's the genius.
Yeah.
Because under all of that, there are these deeper themes at play.
Okay, like what?
Well, for starters, you have Susie dealing with, like, intense grief.
Of course, yeah.
But she's also got this deep-seated mistrust of technology.
Which, honestly, relatable.
Right. And then you throw this super advanced robot into the mix.
Her husband leaves her with, like, the ultimate tech companion.
Exactly. It forces her to confront all of her own biases.
I kind of love it.
Right. It's like, can I let this adorable robot into my life even though I don't trust the system that created it?
Makes you think, like, what would I do if someone handed me Sunny? Would I be creeped out? Charmed?
Right. Especially if, like Susie, you're already a little wary of tech.
And grieving. Let's not forget the grieving.
Absolutely. It adds this whole other layer to their relationship.
Okay, so we have robots, but we also have, like, real human stuff happening, too.
Oh, 100%. And that's what Sunny nails so well.
Yeah.
Even with all the futuristic tech at its core, it's about very human experiences.
Like what? What are we talking about here?
Loss, connection, trying to make sense of a world that often doesn't make sense,
Yeah.
you know?
And figuring out if a robot can really make you a decent cup of tea, let's be real.
Exactly.
Yes.
Although, from what I hear, Sunny makes a mean cup of green tea.
Ooh, I'm adding that to my list of questions.
Okay.
Okay, but there's also this whole other thing with language in the show I wanted to touch on.
Oh, yeah, the whole real-time translation thing.
Yes. Okay, so Susie's lived in Japan for a decade, right?
Long time.
But she's not fluent in Japanese,
No.
but she has these earbuds, and they just translate everything.
Seamlessly. It's like having your own personal universal translator right in your ear.
It's very Hitchhiker's Guide, but less fish, more tech.
Exactly. And it raises some really interesting questions, right? Like, on one hand, it's incredible. Imagine a world with no language barriers.
Right. Travel would be amazing.
Exactly. But then there's this other side.
What do you mean?
What happens when you don't have to try anymore? To learn a language, to immerse yourself in a culture.
Are we losing something by making it too easy?
That's the question, isn't it? And Sunny really leans into that.
Interesting.
Like Susie's reliance on these earbuds, it subtly shows how it's kept her at arm's length from truly connecting with Japan.
Oh, wow. I didn't even think about it like that, but you're right.
Right. It's not just about robots and fancy phones. It's about how even small tech choices can have these ripple effects.
On how we see the world, how we connect with each other, even how we experience another culture.
Exactly. And Sunny doesn't shy away from that complexity.
Man, this show is making me think.
That's what we like to hear. But we've only scratched the surface.
Well, there's more.
Oh, yeah. Next up, we're diving into the visuals of Sunny. Because let me tell you,
Yeah.
Kyoto has never looked so good.
So this whole aesthetic thing we were talking about, the visuals of Sunny.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Like, visually stunning.
Yeah, paint me a picture. What are we talking about here?
Okay, imagine, like, classic Kyoto, right?
Okay, yeah.
Those
Yeah.
traditional wooden houses, all, like, minimalist and serene.
I'm into it.
But then, woven in,
Yeah.
you have these, like, subtle, futuristic touches.
Oh, okay. I see where you're going with this.
Like, imagine those shoji screens casting those, like, beautiful patterns of light.
Yeah.
But then, bam, a holographic display just kind of, like, emerges from the bamboo wall.
Okay, now that is cool.
Right. It's like technology, but it's been, like, through a Zen garden.
I love it. And this whole thing about electronic paper displays, that's a big part of it, right?
It's huge. It's everywhere in Sunny. Remember how we were talking about the phones, how they're not these, like, intrusive glowing rectangles?
Yeah.
Same idea here.
Mhm.
Instead of our, like, harsh backlit screens, they use electronic paper for, like, everything.
So no more eye strain. I could get behind that.
Right.
Uh-huh.
All about making the tech blend in, you know?
So it's not that they've, like, rejected screens entirely. It's more like they've made them less aggressive.
Yes. Less is more in
Yeah.
this case. It's like, what if your laptop, instead of feeling like this, like, attention-sucking void,
Don't judge my screen time.
it's like, what if it felt like you were reading a really, really high-tech book?
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
Like a Kindle, but on steroids and
Right.
way more stylish.
I mean, sign me up. That sounds amazing.
And the showrunner, Katie Robbins, She actually said that was a big part of it.
Yeah.
She wanted to create a world that felt visually calming, especially with the tech.
Oh, interesting. So like the opposite of how most of us experience tech now?
Exactly. It makes you wonder, like, what if our devices weren't designed to, like, constantly scream for our attention?
What if they were just like there when we needed them, like a good houseplant or a really comfy chair?
That's a great way to put it. It's tech that's designed to enhance your life, not, like, take it over.
And they achieve that through like the design itself.
Absolutely. And it's not just the screens, it's everything.
What do you mean?
Like, the clothes the characters wear, the architecture, it all has this, like, seamless blend of old and new.
So even though it's futuristic, the tech doesn't hit you over the head.
Exactly. It's almost like invisible.
Which is kind of ironic, right? Because like we're so used to tech being this like loud attention-grabbing thing.
Right. But Sunny is almost like this quiet rebellion against all of that.
I'm really digging this whole like Zen tech vibe they've got going on.
It's refreshing, isn't it?
It is, especially now when we're all like drowning in notifications and doom scrolling.
Exactly. Sunny dares to imagine a future where tech enhances our lives, not like consumes them.
Yeah, and it does it all with style.
That's the key.
Okay, but we did talk about a darker side to all of this too.
Oh, yeah.
Because we have these robots and they're like adorable.
Super cute.
But then you mentioned like underground fight clubs with robots.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
How does that even work?
Well, that's the thing about Sunny, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't shy away from the fact that even the cutest, most well-intentioned technology
Right.
can be used for, like, not-so-great purposes.
Okay, so darker side of tech. Got it.
And it's done really well. Like, it's not gratuitous or anything.
Yeah.
But it definitely makes you think about the implications of, like, creating something as advanced as these robots.
Like they took our love for those cute robot dog videos.
You know, the ones where they're, like, dancing and stuff?
Exactly. And they were just, hold my microchip, watch this.
It's a bit of a reality check, you
Yeah.
know? Like, we can get so caught up in the ooh shiny of new tech
For sure.
that we forget to think about how it could be misused.
It's that whole, like, with great power comes great responsibility thing, but with robots.
Exactly. And I think Sunny does a good job of, like, not hitting you over the head with it.
Yeah.
But it's definitely there, lurking beneath the surface.
Okay, so we've got cute robots, potentially fighting robots.
Allegedly fighting, we don't know for sure.
Right, of course. And then there's Susie, who's, like, thrust into this whole world.
And she's got her own complicated relationship with technology.
Right, and she's trying to find her husband, who also has a complicated relationship with technology, apparently.
Well, that's putting it mildly.
I mean, he designed Sunny, right, and then entrusted this robot to his wife.
Yeah, but why? What was he really working on, and what was he keeping from Susie?
It's like the ultimate betrayal, but with robots.
Right. And that's what makes the mystery so compelling.
Okay, so we've got a missing husband, robot fight clubs, shady corporations.
But it's not just a, like, sci-fi thriller.
Right. What else is going on?
There's also this really interesting exploration of human relationships.
Okay, like what?
Well, Susie, she's dealing with grief, obviously, but also trust.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out her place in this world that suddenly feels very unfamiliar.
Even though she's lived there for years.
Exactly. And then she has Sunny, this robot that's programmed for empathy in a world that often feels like it's lacking it.
It's like the ultimate irony, right?
Totally. And it creates this really compelling dynamic between them.
Okay, now I'm really interested in this relationship.
Because on the one hand, Sunny represents everything Susie distrusts about technology.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, Sunny might be the key to, like, unlocking the truth about her husband and maybe even herself.
Okay, you've officially hooked me on this show. I need to watch it.
I knew you'd come around.
But before we, like, totally dive into Sunny,
Yeah.
there's one more thing I wanted to pick your brain about. It's this whole language thing again, but, like, on a deeper level.
Okay. Yeah.
It's not just about the tech. It's about Susie, right? Living in Japan for a decade, but relying on those translator earbuds.
Yeah, it's a big part of her character.
It felt very intentional. Like the creators were trying to say something.
Oh, definitely. It's not just a plot device. It's like commentary, you know,
On what?
on how we use tech to navigate the world and, like, what we might be sacrificing in the process.
Okay, so unpack that for me. What are we sacrificing?
Well, think about it like this. Those earbuds, they break down literal language barriers. which is huge.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to order sushi without resorting to pointing and miming.
Exactly. But what about all those other barriers? The cultural nuances, the unspoken understanding you get from truly immersing yourself in another language.
Okay, so we're losing a bit of that human connection.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
And with Susie, it's even more complex, right? Because it makes you wonder, if she hadn't been relying on those earbuds,
Yeah.
would she have been more in tune with what her husband was going through? More aware of the dangers he might have been involved in?
Oh, interesting. So it bleeds into her relationship too, not just her sense of place.
Exactly. It's like, how much are we willing to let technology mediate our experiences, even the most intimate ones?
It's like that saying, to know me is to love me. But in this case, it's like, to know you, I need these earbuds.
And that's what makes Sunny so brilliant. It takes these like big philosophical questions about tech
Yeah.
and filters them through these really personal, relatable stories.
It's not just robots and spaceships. It's about us, even with all the futuristic gadgets.
Exactly. It's about connection, vulnerability, grief, trust,
So all the messy human stuff.
all the good stuff, and how technology might be changing those experiences, for better or for worse.
It's making me think, like, all those times I've chosen to text instead of call someone.
Right, or scroll through social media instead of actually talking to the person right next to you.
It's so easy to let tech be the buffer, you know? But are we missing out on those real, raw moments of connection?
It's the question Sunny keeps asking, and I don't think there's an easy answer.
It's definitely given me a lot to think about, that's for sure.
That's what we like to hear.
This whole deep dive has been amazing, really insightful.
It's been a pleasure, as always.
Before we wrap things up, any final thoughts on Sunny, on where tech might be taking us?
You know, I think the biggest takeaway from Sunny for me is that the future isn't set in stone.
Okay, I like that.
It's like we're all coding it in real time with every choice we make, every piece of tech we create.
So if we don't like the direction things are going, we have the power to change it.
Exactly. It's not about rejecting technology. It's about being mindful, intentional, asking ourselves those tough questions.
Like, do I really need this robot fight club?
Well, maybe not that specifically, but you get the idea. It's about shaping a future that works for us, not the other way around.
That's a great note to end on. Well, folks, there you have it, Sunny. A show about robots, grief, and the future of connection.
Don't forget the killer soundtrack.
Oh, right, and the music is amazing. If you're looking for a show that will make you think, feel, and maybe even reevaluate your relationship with your smartphone,
Just maybe.
Sunny is streaming now on Apple TV Plus.
Bro,
And be sure to check out the show notes for links to all the articles we talked about.
we'll even throw in a few of those cute robot dog videos, too.
Perfect. Until next time, this has been The Deep Dive, your guide to navigating the strange and wonderful world of tomorrow today.